Well, it was very interesting. We just got to meet Sheldon Whitehouse. He's a very interesting senator from the great state of Rhode Island.
It was really cool to meet one of the most powerful men in the nation, I guess. Just like the realism behind it, like you always think, oh, congressman, but you never really get like a personal interface with them, and that was definitely something that was really nice to have.
He was very interested in what we were doing. It was just fascinating that he decided to concentrate on what we were doing, almost like we were his constituency, like a representative of that, and it was kind of honoring to feel like we represent our entire state and not just a small fraction of students.
We met with Senator Dick Durbin this morning from the great state of Illinois, and had some nice time. It was actually a constituent breakfast, so coffee and donuts with Senator Durbin.
I think really something interesting for me was there was a group from New York there advocating Latin American rights and asking a lot of questions about immigration and immigration rights, and I was really impressed in the way that Senator Dick Durbin really handled those and presented a really educated opinion, I think, on his part, showing the importance of some of those immigrants, despite how some get into this country, and the way he feels that they should be represented. So it was really interesting to hear his stance on that.
We're standing outside Senator Chris Coons' personal office from Delaware. We just went in and had a brief question and answer session with him before taking a group photo.
It was real nice. He talked to us about his day-to-day here as a senator, about how he actually has a nice perk of living in Delaware, getting to come home and see his family every day, and how he really appreciates helping people, especially people in Africa. So it was really nice to meet a guy who cares so much about other people.
It was really refreshing to see an elected official who's, personable, approachable, and who you can just talk to about anything.
Today we were able to have the opportunity to go meet with our Senator Grassley from Iowa, and it was a really great time. For both us and the Girls Nation delegates, we got to ask a lot of questions. He was very personable with us, and that was one of the most surprising things. That was very good to see out of a senator who has a busy day, that he would take the time to really listen to our questions and explain some stuff to us, and that was really nice of him.
I really appreciate having senators like Chuck Grassley. He's actually the ranking member on the Judiciary Committee, so he's a very busy man, and he likes to take a lot of time out of his day to visit with people like us who come to Washington and with interest with him. He was very open with the investigation that he's been running and with the legislation that he's been working on, and he can tell you a lot of very good information that can help you understand what's going on in the political field. And he's a pretty straight shooter. I mean, he'll tell you how it is, and he'll tell you when his side is wrong, and he'll tell you when he thinks the other side is wrong. And granted, he thinks the other side is wrong more often, but he'll definitely give you a straight answer.
Harry Reid was very proud of us to represent Nevada, so I was really happy that he let us speak in front of people and just let them know why we are at Boys Nation.
Yeah, I was extremely surprised that he was also involved in the Boys State program, and it really shows, the leadership abilities that come out of a program that's great, and it's just awesome to see alumni that support us like this. Reid actually had to leave early to go and do some Senate business, but he did send us with some of the people that he works with, and they were answering all of our questions and gave us business cards. They're so nice. So I feel honored to be in the same room as those people and to be recognized like that.
I think both of them had a personal interest in our lives, and that was interesting to me. I think sometimes when people get to that status, they don't really consider other people. They get too high on their own egos, but ours weren't like that at all, and I didn't expect them to be, so that was good.
They both seemed very sure of what they were doing, which was encouraging to see that the people in Washington were at least sure of their own opinions. Their staff was all very friendly. They were very friendly.
I think the fact that we can't even vote yet, and yet they're still interested in talking to us is interesting. It's reassuring. It's nice to know that even though we're not official constituents of them yet, just the fact that we reside in an area which they represent gives them interest in talking to us, so that even though we can't vote, we can still have our opinions and we can relay them to people back home.
I'm not a speaker or a teacher or a lecturer. What I am is a survivor of the Holocaust. And I'm here with you, you wonderful young people, for one reason only: to share memories. I do so you would know the truth, you would understand, but most of all, not to allow atrocities like the Holocaust in humanity ever again. I had a normal childhood. Went to school, had all kinds of fun, looking forward to a vacation in 1941. But all this changed when the Nazis took over Lithuania. My dear young people, what my eyes saw when I was not even 17, I have a hard time to share. You know, through the Holocaust, I prayed to the Almighty. I used to sit in the straw and cry and say to God, please let me live through the day, maybe I'll be free. At night, I used to say, dear Lord, let me live through the night, maybe I'll be free. But when I came in from the outside and I saw this mountain of skeletons, all my friends, all my relatives, on top of it, I used to sit in the straw and cry and talk to God and say, please, please, God, let me die. And the women around me said to me, stupid little girl, why do you pray to die? You have to pray to live and survive. But if you survive, you have to promise us that you will teach the world what hatred, indifference, and prejudice can do to humanity. I have a favor to ask you. Take over my promise. Teach the world what you learned today from me. Make sure that we respect every human being that the Lord in heaven created. When you go out these doors and you look at the world around you, don't see a race, don't see a religion. See a person, a human being, just like yourself, and treat them that way. May God bless you. May God bless America. Thank you very much for inviting me.
After hearing the speech tonight, it was really moving to hear her side of the story. After reading the book Night by Elie Wiesel and seeing his perspective, it's great to hear another person's perspective on what they had to go through, what hardships they faced to survive, and just to make that struggle and sacrifice.
I have heard Holocaust survivors before, and never in a capacity like this. This seemed to connect with me in many different ways, maybe because I was with all the boys from Boys Nation, had that brotherhood going, or I don't know what it was, but it seems that tonight it was very different to know that someone who, from the ages of 13 through 17, their entire teenage and years and developing childhood, had to spend their life like that and can come out like this and still want to change the world the way she does, was truly moving.
In my class that I took, we went to Auschwitz and we went to Birkenau, and to hear someone's story who's actually walked those paths and has gone through what she went through, it was unreal and amazing.
Hearing a first-hand account about the Holocaust was incredibly inspiring, how she maintained her faith no matter what, and formed new families, even though she was separated from her own family.
I'm Jewish, and my grandfather was a Holocaust survivor, so just hearing another account of the Holocaust, it's truly an honor to be in her presence and see and hear the great things she's done, keep the story alive.
Every day this week I've learned something new, and tonight I learned that it's my duty as someone who's in Boys Nation, who's going to be a leader of the next generation of youth, and I learned that it's my job to stop things like this from ever happening again.